Namawetu?
I can hear you, Desiree.
Is standing by. What does the DA have to say?
Well, certainly another victory here at the Cape High Court for Mayor Patricia de Lille, Desiree. I think Judge Andre Lagransi focused on many things that Mayor Patricia de Lille has been saying, and that not due process was not followed in her membership being seized by the DA. But now I am joined by Natasha Mazzoni, who is the Deputy Chairperson of the DA's FedEx. Thank you so much for joining us once again, Natasha. The verdict has been given on the Mayor Patricia de Lille's case, and that is that her membership cannot be seized. What is your take on this?
The Democratic Alliance notes the judgment handed down today by the Cape High Court. We will be appealing this judgment. We don't feel that the correct interpretation of the DA Constitution or the Federal Legal Commission rules was applied. Also, we don't think that this judgment was in the best interest of the people of the city of Cape Town. The judgment went very much on the technicalities surrounding our FLC and our procedures. None of these substantive issues have been touched on. There are still many questions that need to be answered. There is an independent report that shows maladministration, gross misconduct, and in fact deception of council. There are questions that remain unanswered, including the SMS that was sent to Councillor Lindbergh requesting a higher score be given to Patricia de Lille's favoured candidate. There are issues that were swept under the carpet. There still remains the issue of the whistleblowers that were intimidated and publicly admonished for coming out and speaking against actions in council. Now, these are all highly problematic. The fact of the matter is Patricia de Lille will now go back and attempt to lead a caucus where only 25% of the caucus have any kind of trust in her. The fact is that the relationship between the Democratic Alliance and Patricia de Lille has broken down to such an extent that we must never forget that Patricia de Lille had as her counsel the EFF's national chairperson as her advocate. Now, that must show that Patricia de Lille has absolutely no interest in being part of the Democratic Alliance going forward, and she has said so on many occasions. This is not about Patricia de Lille. This is not about the DA. This is about the city of Cape Town and what is best for the country, for the city going forward and the people of the city of Cape Town. What I would like to assure the city of Cape Town is, even though this has been a confusing time, this has been an ongoing issue, it continues to be an ongoing issue, all contingency plans have been put in place to make sure that the City Council will continue to operate. City councillors will continue to offer the best services. This will remain one of the best run cities in our country, and service delivery will not be affected by the drama that's going on behind the scenes. It is unfortunate that when you're in public service that it gets to the stage where as a public servant you don't realise that you are not acting in the best interests of the city of Cape Town, and that is exactly the case that's happening here. There's an attempt to create a story that there is bullying and that kind of thing going on. Simply not the case. A Bowman-Gilfillan independent investigation was conducted. Patricia de Lille refused to participate in that investigation. An internal DA investigation took place, now known as the Steenhuisen report. She refused to participate in those investigations. She refuses to answer a very simple yes or no question about an SMS that was sent, yes or no. These are highly problematic issues, and these are issues that are going to have to come to the fore very soon.
Now, Natasha, throughout this process, Mayor Patricia de Lille has maintained that due process has not been followed. She has not been given time to actually give her side of the story. And we heard this coming out of court today as well, with the judge saying that he believes that the FLC was not properly constituted. Are you saying that this is not true?
I'm saying that I think that there was a misunderstanding of how the FLC is constituted in terms of the DA Constitution. That's why we are going to take this judgment on appeal and see what the appeal court says. We abide by the judgment as we have it today, but we will be taking it on appeal because certainly we do not agree with the judgment that was brought down today.
If you can just explain to us now again, Natasha, we know that at this point Mayor Patricia de Lille's mayoralship is only ceremonial. Now that the court has ruled in this way, what does this mean? Does she go back to being full executive mayor?
She has always been full executive mayor. What happened was certain of her powers that were initially, that was a huge problem too. The DA felt that too much power was centralized in the office of the mayor and not in the mayoral committee, which it should be. So what we've done is we've devolved certain powers back to where they should be in the mayoral committee. That will continue to stand. We have never taken away the executive mayor position from Patricia de Lille. That has always stood. It will continue to stand, but now correctly so, certain powers have been devolved to mayoral committee members.
So things will remain as is right now?
Things will remain as is for now.
We know that Mayor Patricia de Lille is back in court tomorrow with regards to the Steenhuisen report. Just commenting on that from the DA.
Well, again, you know, Patricia de Lille commenting on a report and saying she's never had access to it, etc. We must remember that she absolutely refused to participate in this internal investigation. Documents were made available to her. She certainly did know what these documents contained. She refers to certain letters by phrase and by word and then claims not to have received these certain letters. So certainly, you know, a little bit of grandstanding, and that just has to be said in plain and simple English. The Steenhuisen report does come to court tomorrow. We'll see what the court says about that tomorrow. But we're more concerned about running of the city, making sure service delivery is maintained, and that making sure that the people of Cape Town are not affected by this in any way.
Well, thank you very much for your time. That there was Natasha Mazzoni. She is the deputy chairperson of the DA's FedEx, just telling us what she thinks of the ruling here this morning, obviously saying that the DA will take this on review, and that Mayor Patricia de Lille's role still remains ceremonial at this point. She's saying that it's going to be very difficult for Mayor Patricia de Lille to go back to a council or a caucus that does not fully believe in her as a mayor. We'll certainly keep you updated here outside the Cape High Court as the reactions keep coming in, as it's another victory yet again for Mayor Patricia de Lille. With that, it's back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Nomawetu. It's that kind of broadcast morning where we're jumping in between Cape Town and Pretoria and Johannesburg.